Good morning, everybody. Subby here at the Home Weather Center. As I wanted to drop a short video before I head up to the National Storm Summit in Overland Park, Kansas, where about 600 of us weather nerds are going to be underneath the same roof. We've got tons of classes, advanced meteorology classes, advanced radar classes. We are going to be talking to several storm chasers from across the country that are very well known, and hopefully be able to gather a lot of information about something that I can bring back here to Subby's Weather Talk and to Radford Media Group and be able to share with you guys and use that in our forecasting abilities. So very excited for that. So we're going to take a look at this weekend's weather. We're also going to be taking a look at next week's storm system that's coming in, that's actually been down on our calendars for a potential storm system around the 18th of February, all the way back near Thanksgiving. So that is just it just blows my mind every time that the LRC is dead on. I mean, this is incredible. So I thought what we would do, Gary Lezak actually made a video last night that I'm going to show just a small clip about how the LRC is predicting next week's weather, as well as kind of an explanation of the Arctic oscillation. You guys heard me use that term several times. Something I look at about every other day. Kind of shows us what the Arctic oscillation is doing and how much cold air can be funneled down into the central part of the United States. And the Arctic oscillation is just a small piece of that big atmospheric puzzle above our heads at 18,000 feet, and in which the LRC is the biggest piece of that puzzle. But there are other influences such as the AO, and Gary will explain that here in great detail. It's just a short clip, just a couple minutes long, but he puts in a whole bunch of information that really makes sense, and a great example of the LRC. So we'll listen to that clip here, and then I'll come back on. We'll talk about this weekend's weather and next week's weather too. We'll try to make this a short video altogether, about 15 minutes long. So when you get a chance today, watch this in its entirety and give you a good idea of what we can expect as we go through this weekend and into the next week. So let's check out what Gary has to say.
What is happening? This is called the Arctic oscillation. For those of you that have been following me and watching and reading these reports, you can go to weather2020.substack.com and you can become a premium member there. But the AO is an influence. The LRC is the biggest ingredient. It tells us when, where, and a little bit of the what. The AO allows us to know how cold it might get. And look, the AO was positive at the beginning of the season. If you remember, October and November were quite warm into December. It didn't turn cold until about January. And what happened in January? The AO dipped deep negative, down to almost -4. When the AO goes to -3 or lower, Arctic air is more likely to blast south and storm systems get energized. When it's AO positive, like at the beginning of the season, Arctic air is held up north, storm systems are weaker, and it is warmer. All right? But this season, as soon as we hit the first of the year, look, a dip, a rise positive again, but then volatility. Right now, it has just dipped again to deep negative, this time to -4 or 5, even lower than the last time. So if you're wondering why these Arctic air masses are coming down, this is the reason. But look, it's forecast to go back up, and warm-ups will be on the way in a couple weeks. Just know that. So now, a little in-depth discussion. I'll get back to that forecast again and show you what's going on. But look at this. This is the LRC, an example of it. Here's the United States. Here's North America. This is the river of air at about 18,000 feet above us, right? Above most mountain areas, except for Mount Everest and a couple other peaks in the Himalayas. That's it. But look at this. Here's the jet stream dipping down around this energy right before the blizzard on January the 5th. This was January 3rd. But let's go back. It's cycling every 6 weeks. So let's go back 6 weeks. All right, watch. Actually, we're going to go back 12 weeks. Exactly 12 weeks ago, 84 days earlier. Okay? 12 weeks earlier, there's the energy coming in, just like it did on January 3rd. How about the middle one, November? There it is, right? And it's not just that, it's these systems too that are influenced by these upper highs that have been forming whether the AO is positive or negative. So again, you have October 11th, November 22nd, January 3rd, and how about right now? Look, that's the storm coming into the West Coast. You see this? And there's the big upper level low with a block forming up here, sort of kissing upper highs. We haven't talked about that yet. And then you can see, look at this, upper low off the West Coast. That's the energy coming in, just like what produced the blizzard is coming in again. Some models have a small blizzard near Kansas City, but we'll see if that materializes. This is as of today. It's coming in. You can see very similar to 6 weeks ago. So just a hint again of the LRC. You can see this. I know, I just love showing this. It's pretty amazing, right? So that's this storm coming into the West Coast. Look at that. That's this storm coming in the West Coast right now. So there you go. Pretty interesting.
All right, so that was just a great explanation of the LRC and how we can, we realize it's a 41, 42 day cycle, and every cycle we can take a look at this thing 10 months in advance and be able to bring a 90% forecast, accurate, 90% accurate forecast for anywhere around the world using the LRC methodology. So just incredible, incredible, incredible. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. You got something from that. Gary does a good job of simplifying things. Sometimes I don't maybe simplify things. I try to, but that was a great explanation of how we can use the LRC methodology. And again, this year, 41, 42 day cycle, and then it repeats itself. So if we know on day 14 of the second cycle is going to look identical to at 18,000 feet above our heads with what it did on the 14th of the third cycle. So it's incredible. So let's go ahead and jump over to what we have going on this weekend first. And we've got, this is our weekend forecast. I put it out there yesterday. Nothing has really changed from this or steered away from it from all the models this morning. Today we're going to be under overcast, mostly cloudy skies, high of 44 with a low of 35 tonight. Now later on this afternoon into the evening, there is a 20% chance to start seeing some light rain this evening. And then we go into Saturday. Now we're likely going to get that high temperature of 45 early on Saturday. And then we will have a cold front be moving through our area, really crashing the temperatures. As that happens, that rainfall is actually going to change over to a mix to a light snow. Right now, indication still showing under an inch of snowfall for here in west central Missouri, but this is definitely something I'm keeping a very close eye on throughout the day today, because just a degree or two and we could be looking at at 2 or 3, 4 inches of snowfall, or the possibility of seeing some more of the way of sleet and mixed precipitation. But right now it doesn't look like it's going to be affecting travel right now, but definitely something everybody needs to stay up on the update for tonight. As you know, if it cools off just an hour or two earlier to below 32, then we will have a longer period of snow, meaning higher accumulation. So definitely something we need to be watching for tonight. Sunday, Not going to warm up much. 22 degrees with a low of 5 again for Sunday night. So a very cold Arctic temperature that's going to be moving down into the middle part of the country. Let's take a look at next week when that true Arctic air makes its way into west central Missouri. Now, this is for Wednesday. This is as that storm system is pushing through our area. It's going to be ushering in brutally cold temperatures. This is the wind chill expectation for next Wednesday. See, minus 19 degrees in Clinton, minus 22 in Clinton, minus 14 in Springfield, minus 19 in Joplin. So this is the wind chill, what it feels like out there. And we will only go downhill from here, where Thursday and Friday we could be 25 to 30 degrees below zero. So there's a lot of farmers and ranchers around west central Missouri right now that are calving. So this is very important information to get out to them so that they can begin to prepare a nice a warming center for the babies that are going to be born here over the next few days. So definitely going to need to take precautions, as this is very dangerous wind chill and actual temperatures that will be moving into our area next week. Now, with that storm system on Tuesday, there is going to be some winter precipitation that's likely going to be associated with that. Right now, with the current model and the current data, we are using the European model as a baseline. Now, the European model did very well with our last storm system. Now, it hadn't been doing very good over the last couple years, but it did really well with this last storm system that we had. You know, we started off 6 to 8 inches, and then we went down like 3 days prior to 3 to 6. And then when we come up to the day of, we had dry air work its way in there, and we ended up with 2 to 3 on average throughout west central Missouri. Now, the European held true through the entire storm system, and it showed there was going to be some drier air injected into the system, and that our area would only pick up a couple 3 inches of snowfall. So I'm going to be basing all the data and the modelation on the European model. We'll see how well it works for this next storm system coming in middle of the week. Right now it is showing a pretty moderate band of snow right through the heart of west central Missouri. 4.5 inches for Clinton, closer to 6 inches down in St. Clair, Vernon, Hickory, Southern Benton counties. So and of course we've got to keep in mind this is the model. Regardless of how well it does, it gives us a snapshot of what could happen, not what will happen. This will change. It might move a little north, might move a little south. It might not be quite the amount, or it could be even higher amounts. So, but definitely something keeping a very close eye on. We're going to have some very impactful weather coming in for next week, and I just want to give you guys just a glimpse of what we got going on before I leave to head to the Storm Summit in Overland Park, Kansas. So hopefully you guys got some information out of this. I do have my laptop with me. I will be updating if as new data rolls out. If I'm seeing any changes, I will make sure to get that information to you guys through the weekend, likely early in the mornings, as I eat breakfast before we start the day up there to classes. I will try to update you guys on what the data is showing for this weekend as well as for next week. So everybody take care, stay weather aware, stay up to date on all of our social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you soon. Take care, everybody.